Hi, David.
Hello.
So, David, tell us, where were you at with your faith before you started coming to St. Thomas's?
Yeah, so I grew up in a very strong Christian household. It wasn't really a democracy. You kind of went to church on Sundays. And for me, I had a great time in church, but I'm a very curious person. And I always want to see, is the grass green on the other side? And when you get that sort of rock star to Jesus story archetype, and the guy'd be telling me about, preaching about the stuff he did before he found Christ. In the back of my head, I'm like, you're convincing me in the wrong direction. That sounds way cooler than singing Kumbaya on a Sunday afternoon. But yeah, so I loved my time in church. It was great. But again, that curiosity aspect. And when I moved away from sort of work uni, I wouldn't say I went to the other side of the fence. I sort of pole vaulted to the other side of the fence. And I was living a life that didn't bring glory and honor to God. And very quickly, you realize there's no fulfillment there. I come from a very pull yourself by the bootstraps kind of family. If there's a problem, you find a solution. If there isn't a solution, you make one. And so when I'd hear things like, pray about it, everything to the Lord, I just roll my eyes like, I don't want to hear it. I want real practical, tangible solutions to problems. And it took me on sort of a journey where I was just consuming everything and all things, self-help books, mindset books. And the irony of those books as well is 80% of the wisdom comes from the Bible. It's rebranded, repackaged. So I'm just like, I started reading autobiographies. Again, a lot of the great people you look at historically had a strong faith in Christ. I would be looking at, I think there was one point I was literally talking to Siri, like Siri, how do you find fulfillment in life? And it sort of got that deep. And then eventually I just said, you know what it is? I'm just gonna go back to what I know, which is Christ.
So I remember, David, I vividly remember you walking into church for the first time, having not been in church for quite a while. And you walked in, and you were looking for a priest in a confessional box, weren't you?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because you were looking for that, but you stumbled into our evening service.
Yeah. So again, it was just very much that mindset of I can do everything by myself. I don't need anybody. And again, it was like, I don't need a church. I can read. I've got a Bible. I've got a Casting Crowns album. That's my worship music. I'm sorted. But, Christ is the church is Christ's bride. And if you have a relationship with a guy and you don't like his wife, you're going to have the relationship very long. And so I was really kind of put off by church. But, when you watch those Peaky Blinder films and the Irish gangs, and they're like, Father forgives. I thought, do you know what it is? Let me give it a try. It'll be quite cool. So I rocked up and I just saw everyone smiling, looking fulfilled, and I'm like, they've definitely rented this place out for a birthday party. This is not. So I just popped my head in and I was like, just pop in, see what's happening. And then it hadn't started, so I left and they were like, it's Anglican. I didn't really understand, but I just thought, do you know what? Let me come back in. And I sat down and I was just thinking, don't get too comfortable. And now this is the place where I find the most comfort in my life. So I'm very grateful for that.
Wow, fantastic. And tell us a little bit more about what your life is like now you're following Jesus.
You still get ill, hence the voice. But one thing I've realized is Christianity is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. And being in a community of everyone running the same race as you, when you fall by the wayside, they can help pick you up. When you're struggling, just seeing their motivation is enough to keep you motivated. And that's been a great thing. I'm thankful for what the Lord's done in my life, what he's doing, and what I know he's going to do. And the main thing I say, what you observe, you participate in. And being able to see people pray, give thanks when they're feeling low, comfort each other, show love, it's something that I've been able to embody and amplify in my own day-to-day life. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, David.